Okay, I'm going to speak a little bit on steady state economics. So I will say SSE. Now, SSE doesn't talk about predators or parasites. Okay, so when I mentioned it earlier, I kind of contradicted, but SSC says, I think they are being diplomatic. They were talking about tropic, tropic, tropic level of money, right? So in the spellings I gave it wrong. It is TROPHIHIC. Okay, so that's the minor thing. Now I think it's much better to refer to biology than to classical mechanics if you want to study economics. So these are my views. These are not the views of the SSC. First thing I think, if you do mining, right? Say you are mining for iron ore. That means once you get the iron off, then it's gone. So it is kind of predator, right? You are being a predator there. But there is an exception. If you take the nodules of what you get in the sea, because of the huge circulation pattern, it's been replenished over a long period. So you could be able to mine metals from the sea from a sustainable point of view. So I would say, when you do mining, it's gone. Once you mine, it's gone. So it's kind of predator. Okay, except when you mine in the sea, right? So I think we should try to imitate biology. It's much better than using classical physics. I mean, when it comes to biology, then we should have this mutualism, right? Commensalism, parasites, and competition. Now, if you take competition, if you take the sunlight, different organisms may fight for competition. Okay, mutualism means you benefit each other, like the bees and the flowers. Okay, you both benefit. So that way, you can use these concepts in biology. Then you have parasitism, parasitic. Now, if you take the financial sector, it is at the top level. If you take from biology, you have the primary producers like the grass. Then you have second level, third level, and so forth. That means you have like the rabbits. Then you have like the wolf. You have like the lions. So you can have only about 4 levels, because when you take the energy transfer, it goes down by 10% all the time. So you can't go beyond 4 levels, right? So to me, if you take the fire sector, finance, right, real estate, insurance. Now insurance, to me, it is you are taking somebody else's premiums. So it is, to me, parasitic. But if you take the fire sector, if you take the insurance, then you can you can when you do your investments, you can go into more sustainable system. So I think when you take the fire sector, you have to have more restrictions. That means if you want to have a sustainable economy, you have to uh, separate the investment banks from the commercial banks, commercial banking activity. Okay, so when you to get commercial activity and investment thing together, and when the banking system is falling apart, then you can't bail out. Now there is also something even worse, bailing in. That is, you take the money from the money deposited and use that to bail in, right? So there are two concepts in banking: bailing out and bailing in. Bailing out means the government does bailing out. Bailing in means you take money deposits, or you take from the investors' money and you bail in the banks or financial institutions. So you have to have restrictions at the top level. So I think we should borrow from biology, not from classical mechanics. You can't build economics on classical mechanics. Right? It's much better to borrow from biology, and you have to use these concepts of parasites, right? Predator and symbiosis. So you can use a lot of words. So I think you will not use words predator and what is the other word? Parasite, because you are trying to offend somebody. But I think you can build economics using more from biology, not classical mechanics, right? Using classical mechanics to and removing restrictions, like so actually you have to go for when economics comes to a certain level, you have to get rid of fractional banking. So you can have fractional banking to a certain level, and you can when your economy goes to a certain level, you impose more conditions, not removing conditions. Right? Now I am going to take a very crude picture of America. Now America takes water and hydro energy and minerals from Canada. So American economy is kind of parasitic to a certain extent. Okay? And without these, as Professor Jeffrey Sachs says, without these entropic capital, when that is my words, from Canada, American economy will be, and when the ice melts, you are going to get sea trade routes via Canada. So Canada contributes to American economy, not America contributes to Canadian economy. So that when Mr. Trump tried to threaten Canada, I think Canada should realize their strength and try to go into a more sustainable economy. Okay, and when Mr. Trump, during the so-called peace between Israel and the Palestinians, Mr. Trump went to the Israel Parliament and he thanked Marian Ederson, and he said, I am doing what she wants me to do, taking over the Golan Heights, shifting of the American embassy in Israel and so forth. So he is not working on sustainability of the American economy. He doesn't, although he said MAGA, make America great. He's trying to make Israel great, right? So actually, he in a way he humiliated himself in the Israel Parliament. So anyway, the so-called ceasefire in Israel is falling apart now, right? Today is the 17th of October 2025, right? So what kind of economics is that? You are not looking at the welfare of your country, but your priority is in Israel, right? So in biology, I don't know. I can't understand what kind of economics is that, right? And if your welfare is not American economy but the Israel economy, then it will not be sustainable. The people will riot against you in America, right? Then you have the American economy at the top. You have this finance, and to do that you have to print money. The way America is without no restriction in the finance level. That is the top level of money, right? So there we still use the standard SSC standard Trophic level of money. And if you are not having restrictions on the fire industry, right? Finance, real estate, insurance. Now when you take insurance, when you take the premium, I am saying that is parasitic. But those industries should be restricted, because if you take the Trophic level of money, if you take the fire industry, they are at the top level. Okay? They are more like the predator. But they don't have to be predator. The money they get in as say like premiums or anything, they should be restricted to be invested in. This is my understanding. This is not the steady state economics official version. Okay? So I like this question of using biology to imitate. You take economics based on biological concepts, right? So I think even in the fire industry, if you make restrictions and say that you direct this towards renewable energy and sustainable economy, then I think they can move away from this non-sustainable system. But in the American system, it is different. They print a lot of money, and now we know that they have economics of genocide. Sometimes it may not be genocide, but the economics of war. So that means the American economy is fueling. If you take the levels of money in that, then you are fully non-sustainability in the world. So this has to be changed. And Mr. Trump going to the Israel Parliament and admitting that I am not a mega, I am not make America great. His top priority is try to make Israel great. Then it will be non-sustainable and it will create a lot of social problems in America. Okay, so this in my way of looking at it, you have to look at the fire industry in a different way, and inherently fire industry is parasitic, or even you can say predator-like. So you have to restrict the activity and move them towards sustainability. So this is something I went back to the SSC official version. I don't think they'll ever talk about, you use the words parasites and predators when they describe me. economics, I like the idea that they are using biology, the energy pyramid in biology, to describe the money flow, but they will not use these negative terms. But I think it's okay to use the negative term and have restrictions on these industries. Now, there is this professor, his name is Professor Kaplan, and I saw his interview in this Kitco. Right? Professor Kaplan says that all fiat currencies are toilet paper, and if you take the American US dollar, they are double layered toilet paper. Right? So I like that analogy of Professor Kaplan. Right? Professor Thomas Kaplan, and the interview was there in Kitco social media website. So I would like to mention his name also when you are describing about the American fiat currencies and other fiat currencies. Right? I would prefer single layer, because double layer toilet paper, they have a tendency to, I mean, they are more versatile, but they have a tendency to block the plumage in the toilet. So I would prefer the single layer toilet paper, but I would prefer that if all the toilet paper vanish from the face of the earth. Okay? So I would prefer all fiat currencies vanish from the face of the earth, and you go on gold-based currency. So on this of using toilet paper in economics, I think Professor Kaplan, Thomas Kaplan, might be better. He is a much more versatile authority than me. I am only a beginner, I am only a learner. Okay? So I think people should try to get rid of the fiat currencies. People should understand the role of Canada, where is using their mineral and using their hydro energy and using their mineral or hydrogen, and also the water is also used, like fresh water from Canada. So Canada holds the upper hand over America. American can't dictate to him. And if Mr. Trump insists that his priority is Israel, not American economy, although in the campaigning stage he said, make America great, he wants to make Israel great. I think it will be disaster both for America and for Israel. So that aspect is there. I prefer to take models from biology than classical mechanics. I don't think you can build economics on classical mechanics. Okay? If you take thermodynamics, then it is related to biology again. So thermodynamics is more close to economics than classical mechanics. And you don't have equilibrium then. There is no equilibrium in your economics. So we touch few things. And when I said some things about SSC and Trophic level of money, then I distorted the official version. And here I use the terms parasites and predators, symbiosis, right? Competition, and I use a lot of terms in biology. I think economy imitates biology, so I think you can move more towards biology and conceptual, right? Maybe you can't get a mathematical model for that, maybe not. That's a different matter, because if you have chaos, and if you have this study of chaos in mathematics, then even you can infuse some mathematics into biology. So my views are different, and I think the financial sector is inherently more towards parasitic, but they can be restricted the activity so that it promotes more sustainability. So they need not be. So that means you have to have restrictions on the financial sector. So I'm going to stop here.